once again, stare deep into the void. Oh, that's Discord. Last one I wanted to watch them before I made them all public. I'm not going to make them public until I come back. I'm also thinking about recording Town of Salem since OBS is a lot easier on my hard drive than something like Fraps was. Fraps was a freaking RAM eater. That shit would ram up its ass. But OBS seems quite calm. I wish I had switched to OBS sooner. OBS people would recommend it to me, but I never actually took their recommendation seriously. Maybe I should listen to people more often. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I've had some actual music that's gonna play this time. I went to the settings and actually, made the music play. You might also notice that I turned my mic quality up so that you could actually hear me better without having to put your own volume up. So now we're going to get on to the next story, Laszlo X Dominic_idiot.pdf. Written by the Breast British Child. Now, a thing or two about Cryptum. He has shown in the past that he can write some of the best stories I've ever read, filled with symbolism, incredibleness, heart-touched plot, extremely emotional endings, and a freaking plethora of other things. And then he's also shown us that he can just create absolute garbage. Stuff that you wouldn't think could come out of a human. Like, it's stuff that's so bad that, like, you can't try to make things that bad. It's something that you have to have talent in. Like, he's written things that are so bad that he could have gone on to America's Got Talent, or I'm sorry, Britain's Got Talent, and read them the story that he wrote, and they would have given him the golden buzzer because of how bad it is. So when I say that this story is going to be hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? I really do mean that it really is going to be a hit or a miss here. It's either going to be the greatest thing I've ever read, or it's going to be the worst thing I've ever read. So stay tuned. This is I think I saw earlier it was 7 pages long. Oh boy, I'm already getting the feeling this might be towards the shitty end of what I said. Disclaimer, I do not own any of these characters, nor do I particularly want to. Oh, I'm also going to enter full screen. Yeah, I do not own any of these characters, nor do I particularly want to. I fanfiction of a 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 ship that's incredibly weird and has been altered for this occasion. Alright, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get right into this story. Oh hey, I already saw my name. I'm reading ahead though. Last one woke up in the middle of the night, his eyes fluttering open upon hearing his sulky whisper cut through the air. Is this a shit between me and Laz? I don't appreciate that. The melon woke up slowly, yet deliberately as well. Nice use of a, what is that called? That's not a semicolon. Yeah, this is a semicolon. Yet deliberately as well, knowing that when he did, he would be faced with the crushing reality of what had transpired. Shut up, 1MC! Of what had transpired the night before. The 1MC is the announcement system. In the darkness that shrouded his very form, he could see the glint of shades of obsidian-like hair. What hair? I don't have any hair left. Reflecting what little moonlight shone through the slight crack in the curtains from the ornate glass windows above him. Shade's eyes were firmly shut. What the fuck is going on? His bare shoulders shivering slightly in his sleep from the cold that hung around them, drawing whatever heat the two figures had managed to produce. The cold loomed over them, and the air around Laszlo felt fet biting. Fet biting. Is fet a word? Am I stupid? As if his entire body were submerged in a lake of ice, but it did little to distract the pale-skinned melon from his thoughts. Laszlo felt as if he should hold on to Shade, to share what little warmth resided within him. He desperately wanted to, but Shade was a stranger in his arms. He had been for a long time. Well, I don't quite feel comfortable being in the arms of a 36-year-old man. In fact, I think that's borderline creepy, and it makes me very uncomfortable. So, Cryptum, thanks, dude. The son orphan, having departed for I don't know how to say that word, Chatu, for a year to pursue his shit interests. Laszlo had been despondently empty, hollowed with loneliness, aching with grief. His longing for his child to return only served to send more pangs into pangs of pain into his chest, with each one stabbing his heart with the intensity of a serrated knife, over and over. I do like the use of imagery. It's very, very vivid. And then there was him. Dom! The melon heard his name on Dom's lips, a sultry whisper in the looming darkness around him. Dom shouldn't say it. How many people are in this room? Dom shouldn't say it. Should never have said it. And Laszlo, he shouldn't hear it. There are so many elements of wrong that the pale-skinned melon spent most of him desperately fighting at whatever pleasure he managed to take from the olive-skinned succubus that was scattered and frantic, scarcely enough to outweigh the... What the fuck is going on in this story? I'm reading back real quick. Okay, so I'm there, apparently without a shirt on because my shoulders are exposed. And I'm in the darkness, I'm cold. And now Dom's here? Dom said something and the melon heard the name. Dom shouldn't have said that, and Laszlo shouldn't have heard it. That was wrong that he said it, but he's fighting on whatever he said. Whatever pleasure he managed to take from the olive-skinned succubus that was scattered in frantic, scarcely enough to outweigh the guilt. What does this mean? What does that mean? The guilt! The guilt! The guilt of breaking the promise. What the fuck is going on? The only promise he had ever made to his partner, his soulmate. Is this soulmate me? Is it Dom? Is it Orphan? No, it Orphan's his son. Oh well, he's from one of the Carolinas. His son might be his fucking soulmate. Laszlo had tried to resist, but in the intimate moments, the pressure of Dom's fingers on the melon's back. So was Dom like the embodiment of a succubus? Is that what this is? A succubus is like a demon, but it's not a demon. It's like a lust demon. The brush of the deity's... Okay, well I guess that confirms it. Is he a succubus or a deity? Is there a difference? I don't know. The brush of the deity's lips on his throat. He was powerless and whole, desolate and fulfilled. It was wrong. A heist, all wrong. Yet he wanted more all the same. Alright. Cryptum, your mind went to some weird places when you were writing this. The melon couldn't identify how this all started, truth be told. He hadn't realized how far he'd gone until Laszlo heard him say Dom's name, a desperate cry that had ripped itself from the melon's lips, and afterwards he had gasped in pleasure, his green-tinted nails embedded into that madman's shoulder, the look of rapturous hunger in the idiot's eyes that hadn't yet extinguished. The imagery is great, but when I don't know what the fuck is going on, it's just putting random pictures in my head, and I don't appreciate it. It never would, perhaps. The olive-skinned angel wanted more. He always demanded more. Who the fuck's the angel? What is going on? Dom's not the angel, he's a deity succubus. And now why is there an olive-skinned angel? Is that last one? The olive-skinned angel? Because it said up here that his olive skin. Where did it say that at? Olive-skinned succubus. No, olive-skinned succubus was Dom. Why is he an angel now? He was a succubus. The succubus is a demon. Why is he an angel now? He always wanted more, and yet he must have known. Surely he had known that Laszlo had nothing to give. What? A symptom of his youth, the melon was sure. He was a well that could never be filled, and so was Laszlo in a manner of speaking. When am I gonna come back into the story? I'm just there. Think this is, but unless if I'm somehow in a part of this, I feel like this was something that when Cryptum was writing it, it made perfect fucking sense to him. And now whenever someone like me, who has no idea what's going on, is reading it, it's like the most convoluted, confusing thing ever. But I digress. Never enough. Never enough. No, no, no. But the slip of his tongue across the melon's spine, the scrape of his teeth against the inner thigh. Comma, semicolon. Laszlo was somehow less without it. Despite the melon's better judgment, he knew he would amount to less than nothing. Amount to less than nothing. Less than nothing. He held the melon like the world was ending, and perhaps it was who's holding the melon? I don't fucking understand. Oh boy. And perhaps it was. Laszlo wondered how Dom had ever seen him, how he had caught even the smallest glimpse of him when the melon was so sure he had disappeared, his presence shrinking to nothing in the heavy weight of his loss, the loss of his only son. Orphan? Shut up, 1MC. His absence, an abrasion embedded deep inside of the crevices of his soul, and the cold shadow of his beloved shade that lay next to him. I thought I was across from him. Why am I next to him now? Its dark form rising and falling with each breath Shade took, redundance on the word shade. Laszlo was sure he was gone. He was sure he was nothing. I like the writing. Like, don't get me wrong, the writing is good. The plot, well, I mean, this is entering 50 Shades of Grey level of plot right here. And yet he had seen the melon through all the darkness. He changes everything. I think that might be a reference to another story that Cryptum wrote. Unless if it was Urban that wrote that story. I'm pretty sure it was Cryptum that wrote He Changes Everything. Laszlo had always been vain, always been proud, always been beautiful. I don't know about that last part. Beautiful, perhaps. He shouldn't be impressed when it happened. Perhaps Dom had always been looking before he actually caught the glimmer of craving in his eye. Is Dom a human now? Does the succubus feel regular emotions? First it was the melon's name on that madman's lips. I'm guessing that's not me. Laszlo's first hint should have been the shiver that ran through him. The dull roar that pulsed in his mind, a scream in his mind, upon hearing in his mind them leave that angel's lips in his mind. It felt like a secret even when it was nothing, even when it was less than nothing, thus the melon's name on his lips. I'm so fucking confused, guys. I have not been this confused since I took the nuke qualifying test for the Navy. That's how bad this is. And then it was the brush of Dom's hand up Laszlo's spine when nobody was looking. He'd have to close his eyes at the sheer agony of it, torn between what his moral values and the divine ecstasy of that touch. The devastation of knowing it was wrong, all wrong, and yet, please, again. When had Dom known he had the melon? Perhaps Laszlo would never want to know, never want to admit himself so weak as to allow himself comfort in Dom's grasp. Stop! The melon felt him smile at that. Please, Laszlo begged as Dom had brought his hands to the melon's waist. Stop! Sapper! Sapper is the sexual assault prevention response that is on base. Whatever. Dom relaxed his hold and the melon nearly wept against him. What the fuck is going on? Dom's breath against Laszlo's ear, chuckling in a nice, charming fashion. Am I gonna, like, wake up and pull out a fucking infinity sword and go crazy or something? That would be awesome. I'd give this a 10 out of 10 if that happened. Never. Laszlo realized that he had left the bed, left his chambers, left the interior of the home he had spent years building. What the fuck is going on? And only moments destroying. He was wandering in his gardens, his feet bare, his hair loose. This is what it had come to. But apparently Dom was right there. What? It was dark outside and dewy. Morning fog had shrouded the entire courtyard surrounding him, and the drops of dew clung to the grass below his feet. The smell of gardenias. Is that a fucking word? That's a stupid word. And summer filled the air with his nostrils, and yet despite all of this he could only think of Dom. The elegance of his fingers, the quickness of his wit, whenever Laszlo had permitted him his stolen moments, it was rare, certainly. But the melon was weak. Laszlo's life had made him weak. His love had made him damaged, and his savior that had... Okay, so I'm just a side bitch in this story. Okay, I got you. And his savior had sprung up in the cracks, finding a twisted home in Laszlo's compatible vulnerability. Big words. Oh, look at this page. This is just dialogue. This cannot last, the melon told him, and Dom had pressed him roughly against the wall. Okay, so is Dom just a figment of his imagination? No, because it pushed him against the wall. It's a succubus. He's an angel succubus. What was the other word that was used to describe him? He's the pale, olive-skinned angel succubus deity. That's what Dom is. Fine, Dom muttered, ripping Laszlo's and lowering his head towards his... Ripping Laszlo's melon and lowering his head towards his melons. This has to stop, he insisted, and Dom had ground against the melon, lifting the melon's leg above his melon. Fine, Dom agreed, slipping inside of the melon. Say my name. No. Say it. No. And it came out in a gasp, rebelled itself in a whimper. Again. No. Try it again. No. But the melon always did, and he clung to his angel selfishly. I was told that there was no explicit content, but I'm pretty sure that Dom just slipped his deity, demon, angel, succubus penis inside of the melon's ass. I'm just saying, that sounds like that's what happened. Okay, but the mention always did, and he clung to his angel selfishly. Don't stop. I won't. Don't stop. I won't. Never, Dom promised Laszlo, and the pain was exquisite. The melon sank to the ground, fighting it, fighting the want, the need, the rising pain in his chest. This reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. I'm not going to elaborate on that. The way his heart ached for more. It was wrong, all wrong. It was all Laszlo had and that alone proved that he had nothing. Less than nothing. This has to stop. Fine, Dom said, his arms tight around the melon as melon sobbed against his chest. Proof he had nothing. Yeah, no, Dom, you just sexually assaulted that melon. And, yeah. That's, I just read that. I just said that sentence out loud. I just said that. How many people in the world have said those words? Dom, you just sexually assaulted a melon. I can't be the first person in the world in history that said that. I can't. But I might be. That might be the most interesting part of this story. And now the melon was here, another sleepless night like always. The smell of gardenia, a smell of a fake word and summer in the air. And all I could think about was the pale, olive-skinned angel succubus deity. His deity. The sun would be up soon, he thought, closing his eyes. You should be sleeping. He always knew where to find the melon. He was observant that way and relentless, a symptom of youth. Don't, Laszlo warned, his eyes still closed. The figure... Shut up, 1MC. The figure knelt down beside the melon. Behind the melon. Oh, what are you doing? Don't go back there. His chest pressed against the melon's back. The melon would have sighed in satisfaction, but the thought of him didn't catch the melon's throat and choke him. Lie to me, Aslan whispered. This doesn't mean anything. The figure murmured back, its lips against the melon's ear. Yeah, now you're sodomizing the melon. I don't appreciate it when you sodomize the melon. Aslan sighed, letting it happen. Yeah, you just sodomized the melon. Not explicit. Not explicit. You just sodomized a watermelon. The fuck? Again? How many times have you done this? Say my name, he told the melon, tangling his fingers in Laszlo's silky hair and yanking the melon's head back, running his... I'm pretty sure Laszlo said he didn't want to be any sexually explicit ships. Cryptum clearly didn't care. And yanking the melon's head back, running his fingers delicately from the curve of the melon's lips to the pulsing hollow of the melon's chest, all the way down to the melon's antenna. Wrong. All wrong. Tom, Laszlo said, his angel, as his angel demon pale olive skinned succubus deity sunk his teeth into the melon's neck, effectively turning him into a vampire. And it ends there. Well, okay, nice picture, I guess. Alright, so let's exit full screen real quick. Let's see this shit real quick. 16 minutes and 50 seconds of my life wasted. Nice. Not gonna lie? Remember at the beginning when I said this shit was gonna be hit or miss? I guess they always miss, huh? Because that was probably the most uncomfortable thing I've ever read, the most confusing thing I've ever read, and funny enough, probably one of the most interesting things I've ever read, because I really wanted to know what happened. The plot was almost 50 Shades of Grey level of bad, and overall, all I got from this is that Laszlo is haunted by the physical angel demon deity succubus that is Dom. And apparently I was just side hoe number 1 or something stupid. I was just sleeping next to him. Apparently naked because my shoulders were exposed. So thanks Cryptum. That story was great. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Stare into the void, and goodbye.